What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Discord Friday. If you guys are new to the Warehouse series, I welcome you. And this is every Friday. I go over on Discord, I take pictures off of Discord, and I put them on a video and I go over them. Sometimes people built the perfect palette, but I'm still going to critique that work and let you know what I would do differently, because it's not so much for that person that posted the picture, it's for a learning tool for other people as well. So they could either use the person's method in the picture or they could use my method as well. It's just giving them a different option. So if you guys are not a member of Discord, you're missing out. Link in the description below, totally free. Come join, and I'm sure if you're a new selector, you're going to be thankful you're there. And if you guys want to do all this, I really appreciate it. So let's get on to the first one. All right, guys, so I'm going to start at the bottom of this palette. If I had totes, I would not stack totes as a base unless I had a half a pallet. And if I had a half a pallet, I absolutely 1000% hate slip sheets. Now, guys, I throw in dairy and dry goods. So in those two warehouses, I will never use a slip sheet. Now, if I had to venture off to a different warehouse, there is an opportunity for me to use a slip sheet. And that would definitely be if I had, like, I don't know what these block come in, if there are 6 block on totes, but let's say I had 12 totes. And I'm looking for maybe 2-3 slip sheets to throw on top of those totes to try to give me a level layer to stack on. So if I only had 4 of these, I would stack 2 and 2 right up the front. My goal with these totes, since they do have that dip in the top of the container, is to have as much wood exposed as possible to stack my regular cases on. I don't want to give me a bunch of these to stack on. So if I had 6 of these, I'm stacking 3 and 3 right up the front of the pallet to start my order. And then I am saving the whole entire back of my pallet, a lot of it, to stack solid cases on, and I guarantee you're going to get a good outcome. Now, this palette looks great. You're doing a ton of things right. So I'm going to go through this palette real quick. First, you're everywhere through this palette the whole way up, because that's, well, we get the dip in because of the slip sheets. I'm going to get them last. I'm not a fan of that placement of the slip sheets. But my theory right here is everything's low. Low inside, high corner, low inside, high corner. Cases coming in, cases coming in. Now, I would have kept coming in. I don't agree with this middle part right here. I love everything on this palette except this little section right here, and the fact that you used the totes as a base, because you had more pictures on there, and I saw totes on the back of your palette too. So you used the totes the whole way through. If you only have 2 totes, stack them up in a corner. But perfectly done. Smaller cases on the inside. Above this slip sheet and up is just beautiful. I mean, you could tell you know how to build. I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. So what would I have done different with this middle? It's going across the line of my cross that I teach in my T. I would have had cases facing back like this, and I would have just kept cases facing in until I got a point of being level, because you had that point right here. So if we would have just kept facing cases in, remember, guys, don't over here, you forced a tie-in, and this is the result of it. You forced a tie-in because, look, you went this way, then you went that way, and then so you went. It just don't force tie-ins. Just keep coming in the middle until you get that opportunity of a level layer to start tying in. That's what I would have done differently. I would have faced cases this way. I don't like this right here. I don't like the slip sheets hovering on nothing. That's why I hate slip sheets. To me, whoever built this palette can build. I guarantee. Do me a favor, enlighten me, and when you get the same order again, if you get 4 totes, stack them up the front. I want you to stack a full pallet without using slip sheets, because I guarantee your pallet is going to look perfect, and it's not going to have hovering cases. So that is the first picture. All right, guys, this one right here is just, once again, perfectly done. I love it the whole way up. I mean, I wouldn't use these. If these are the slippery cases like we have, I probably would have just stacked them in the middle and threw some solid cases down here. But because it's real low on the pallet too, so the opportunity for that to slide as you're selecting can happen. But it looks like you made it to the dock perfectly fine, and that's going to get some wrap on it. But once again, just perfectly done. High corner, low inside, high corner, low inside, high corner, low inside, high corner, low inside, the whole way up this pallet. Guys, I'm telling you, when you have high corners and low inside, and all the way down here, some of these are so minute. Like this case right here, it's just a fraction bigger than this case. If this case was in the middle and then I put this case down and I had that little lip, it's getting swapped. This is too low on the pallet to be messing with a lower corner, even though it's fraction, because down here is nothing. But by the time you get up here, it's going to be something. So when you have a hot corner, low inside, even a fraction, I'm switching it around. I love the way this person built this pallet. Absolutely brilliant, perfectly done. Thank you for posting your work. All right, this one here, once again, we've been getting some really good pallets on there. So I don't know if people are learning from my channel or if they were already good before they came, because you guys are doing this stuff exactly how I would do it. If I had buckets, I would keep them together. Just like the totes. I treat these buckets just like totes. Just like any case that stinks to stack on, I'm keeping towards the front of my pallet. That's exactly how I would do it. And I would tie in just like this. I love it. And then we came in to the same case back, to the same case back. We just kept keeping that method, one case in, one case in, one case in. I forget who built this pallet, but you did a great job. I don't have it all the way around, but I don't even have to look at the back. I could look at the front and know you did a great job. But yes, this is how I would do my buckets as well. So thank you for posting your work. All right, guys, another great pallet. I mean, it's like, does anybody build bad anymore? I mean, come on. This freezer pallet is just freaking brilliant. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, we got nice tie-ins. We got the high corner, low inside. You know, we're either staying even or we're staying, you know, not worrying about our holes. We're just going to bridge a case over. We're going to bridge a case over our gaps. You know, even back here, even though it's in the part of the pallet I don't like, I don't care because this is his person's system. Guys, when I say that, I'm not a fan of putting cases in the middle section of all four parts of the pallet like this. I find when you do this, you get a weak corner. But what we did is we had a level case here and a level case here. So he tied in his gap and then immediately start bringing it back in. 9 times out of 10, what happens is if you don't have level corners to match your inside, well, now you give yourself a low corner and then you force yourself to column stack. This is the 1% when it's okay, is whenever you're level with your corners and you could tie in immediately after. So greatly done on this. Just a beautiful freezer pallet. Once again, thank you for posting. All right, someone posted this picture on there as well. I mean, they said they're not a member of Discord, and it don't matter to me. I wanted to throw this on there. Anytime I see stuff that is a little bit different, you know, it's not every day that we see product like this. I like to try to throw in a mixture of product. And the oil guys, I love how they did this. You know, here's your house on stilts, Jeremy. Just perfectly just separate these oils so we get a nice base, and then we tie everything in. And guys, you can see tied in layer, tied in layer, tied in layer, column stack, column. We tied in again right here, and then we just actually they tied in the top too. There's very little columns going on in this pallet, but they did it just an excellent job. And you can see up front, obviously this is a bulk warehouse. These are bigger cans. This must be a BJ's or a Sam's Club or something to that nature, because these are some big cans. So these are definitely a bulk warehouse in my opinion. I don't know where this place is at, but just very nicely done. Guys, I appreciate this too. You know, if you see a good pallet in the warehouse or even one that maybe needs improvement, snap a picture of it. And any picture helps. It doesn't necessarily have to be yours all the time. It could be anybody in the warehouse. All right, so these 2 pictures are actually from my warehouse. Somebody shared these with me. And the reason why I said, yes, please send me them, is because you guys see how I build in the warehouse all the time. So you know how my method of building is. Well, I always say there's the good builders in my warehouse. We all have a different technique, but our end product looks the same. The end product looks the same, but we got a different way of getting there. And as you can see in our detergent aisle, they did an excellent job. Nice and square, buckets at the top corner, these at the top corner, put a heavy bag on top of it to tie them in so they don't slide anywhere. I mean, this is how you guys, look, small case in the middle, not afraid. Yeah, see how we just threw something in there to fill it up? So we put the Tide Pods down, and maybe we had our Tide Pods right here at first. And then we didn't get a case that was going to fit here, or maybe we didn't, or just separating. It's okay to have gaps on your pallet as long as you're not having a lot of gaps, like a certain selector in my warehouse. It's like, guys, you want to have minimal gaps, but it's okay to have gaps. And then you move down to this, and this, guys, this is how you stack your cans. And it should be solid the whole way up, all right? The whole way up, and then you just top off your stuff with all the small cases back here. Nice solid base. We got our juicy juices. We move up into some Deer Park water. Just a very nicely stacked pallet. Once again, may not be the exact pattern how I would do it, but it looks exactly the same as mine when it's the end result. All right, guys, 2 produce pallets here. Like I said, we don't get many produce that often, and I like to throw them in. Let's go over here. I do this with my celery sticks as well. I throw them on their sides. I do not stand them upright. Just perfectly done, guys, keeping open boxes together. Now, the only thing I would have done differently, I don't know how many strawberries you have, but my strawberries are being stacked together. These little tabs interlock the strawberries together. Plus, you have cases directly into the box of strawberries, and we have a decent amount of weight on top of it. So there is a chance that some of these strawberries are going to get smashed or get even bruised, or however you want to say it, and they're going to, just get nasty by the time they get to the store. I do not like stacking directly on top of any open case. So the first thing I like to do is I like to limit my open cases to stack on. So if I stack them all together in a corner, then I'm not stacking on that many open boxes. If I spread them around, then I have no choice but to stack on open boxes, and I don't want to do that. So I'm keeping all my open boxes in the corner. Honestly, I would have put the 4 strawberries here. Not sure if you got more. If you had more, I would have stacked them all up the corner, and I would have built around it. And by the time I got to my mushrooms would have been right on top of the strawberries. That's how I would have stacked it, because we got the same product in our warehouse, and that's how I stack. On to this one, beautifully done. Guys, this is what I like about our wet room, is that you just keep everything together. We got our carrots in the middle, some troubled carrots, always keep in the middle. I know who this is. This is Yoda Bomb. He always stacks the same way. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. When I put my video out, you can line up my pallets and they all look the same. Same with Yoda Bomb. You could line up his pallets all the same, and they're all going to be identical. All right. It's okay to top off with your open boxes because we're done stacking. But just keeping everything simple. Guys, this pallet right here, that's a 10-minute order. That's a 10-minute order. You could literally stack this in 10 minutes and be done with it. That's why it's nice to call them stacked produce. All right, guys, that brings me down to my final 2 things. I want to throw a couple tips out here. Here's the first one. So in this first picture right here, this is what my pallet looked like. Now, I would see people freak over this, because what I have is big cases. Well, what the heck am I going to fit in there? This is going to ruin my pallet. They'll just keep stacking on this and have cases dipping into this gap. Guys, all what I did was pull this case out and move this case over. Pull this case out, move this case over. Problem solved. Just separate your cases. Just because you put cases down doesn't mean this is how it has to stay. That's why I don't like that touch once mentality, is because when you do this and the new selector is just going to leave it like that, because my trainer told me to touch once. When it takes a half a second to just go slide these 2 cases, and now I got a nice solid base that I don't have to worry about these holes where cases are going to be dipping into them. That's the first one, and this is the second one. All about moving cases, guys. I put this down. I initially had this sauce down first, and then I put these 2 cases coming back this way, and look at the small surface it gave me the stack. Well, what the heck am I going to put there? Probably nothing, because only a skinny case is going to balance there. But if you can see, I have room to slide this case out. These cases are on the corner of the pallet, nice and solid. They're not going to teeter. So all what I did was just slide this case out and give me a bigger surface to stack on. And when I put a heavy case behind this, it's going to help support these 2 cases. Sometimes it's a matter of just sliding a case, and people will not do it. I just wanted to throw these 2 tips up because I think they're very crucial. I do it all the time. I'm constantly sliding cases around just to fill in some gaps, because I don't feel like having a hole for a case to dip into. All right, guys, that's it for today. I know a little bit longer than usual. I appreciate you guys for watching. And I really appreciate everybody for supporting the channel. And I really appreciate the people that have been helping the channel by donating. So, guys, I appreciate you. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.